All right, folks, we're getting news out of Venezuela that, according to the New York Times, Trump has ordered a military escalation. The diplomatic efforts that were underway, which were obviously symbolic, so-called diplomatic efforts, weren't meaningful attempts that could actually resolve anything. They were just temporary measures. So they've been shut down, and the decision to go with military escalation has been made. This is not good news for the world. Venezuela, which has been fighting imperialism for decades, including numerous regime change intervention operations, is suffering under occupation, and its only fault is standing against imperialism, and its only fault is having gold and oil. Now, according to the New York Times, it's about to be attacked, so this isn't good news for the world. Now, the second thing, Yemen has sent drones to Israel and demonstrated a new capability within minutes. They have sent multiple drones toward Israel, and the Palestinian resistance has laid out its demands. If these demands are met, things will move forward. If they're not met, they're not backing down, and Israel is currently funding Western celebrities to flip public opinion in Israel's favor. But that's not going to happen. Still, Israel is putting everything into it and pouring resources into this effort. We're talking millions of dollars being spent. Look, Israel cannot function without America's hegemonic power and without American pressure. Israel will never agree to meaningful peace with the Palestinians or any peace within the region. It's impossible without American pressure. So there's a turning point happening that's going to completely change everything. It'll impact the entire world, and it'll impact Israel's actions. America's superpower status is being challenged. Israel's behavior stems from the fact that America is a superpower. It's a hegemonic power with a monopoly over the entire world. So if this superpower status gets challenged, Israel's behavior can't continue. In fact, Israel itself will collapse because no one can survive without that backing. America's superpower status has sustained it. But now, the superpower status itself is being challenged. We've explained many of the reasons before, but now something new is emerging. And the foundation of all this is innovation and technology. They have superior technology. We're talking military technology. Look at other technology. They make the best stuff. Computers, innovation, technology, everything's built on this. So for the first time, America is no longer the center of innovation. And if we look at it as a whole, someone else is becoming the center of innovation, surpassing the West. Looking back at the last 2 or 3 centuries, there was the West, then Europe, then America. You don't find examples like this in the East. So America, the center of innovation, their superiority comes from this innovation, from technology. That's now being challenged. America is falling way behind. And what's the reason? The reason is they've gotten tangled up in wars. American policies of America first weren't followed. The trillions of dollars spent on pointless wars, especially in the war on terror, have caused massive damage to America. Trillions of dollars gone on one side, their attention diverted on the other. And this is their biggest loss. Even bigger than the money, the loss is that they haven't focused on the priorities and the direction where they should have been upgrading. So the first shock was the news we just shared. Trump was going to build the Golden Dome, which was supposed to be completed in the coming years. Trump said it would be the world's first and most advanced, and that no one in the world could even match it, let alone build anything close. It's tradition that America builds first, and no one can even come close. Then we found out that China has already built it. Now, just look at the news coming out about the F-35, which America claims is the most advanced fighter jet on planet Earth. It was presented as a revolutionary fighter jet and their biggest weapon, right? So now news has come out about this fighter jet that it's overhyped, and the technology it supposedly had has been exposed. It could be badly taken down. Well, there have been questions about it. For the past few years, questions have been raised about it being overhyped. So clearly, America has been defending it. Look, this F-35 is the world's most advanced fighter jet. It hasn't even been in a face-to-face encounter with Chinese or Russian fighter jets. If there's war in Ukraine, Ukraine isn't using any F-35s there. If Israel is using F-35s, well, who in the region has any advanced level fighter jets? It's only the F-35 flying around. And Iran said they shot down these fighter jets, which wasn't confirmed by America or Israel because obviously there would have been confirmation. Humiliation, and this technology would have been exposed that the F-35, which is supposedly the most advanced fighter jet on planet Earth, with supreme and superior technology, got shot down like that. Yemen claimed they came very close to shooting down an F-35. So now, this news is coming out that it's been completely exposed, and its technology and capabilities that were shown, and claimed the Pentagon itself released a report accepting this. And now the issue is that Europeans bought it thinking that whenever there's conflict with Russia, they'd have a superior weapon. But it's come to light that this isn't a superior weapon. And then you see the havoc Israel's F-35 is creating here. I mean, if Iran gets fighter jets from China or any other country or region, or even if Turkey makes its own fighter jets, then Israel's air superiority can't remain intact because they've been saying no one in the world has a fighter jet equal to theirs. Now they've been exposed for their claims and have admitted they're overhyped. What's going to happen is that the Allies invested in this project, believing they'd get these fighter jets, and they'd be sitting pretty saying, "We have the best." So trust in America has been challenged. This report was released today, and it states that huge concerns have arisen about how to trust America. Investments are made in its projects believing that if something's the best in the world, it'll be made in America. Therefore, we should invest in its technology. America's arms sales and technology are now a massive force. Remember Trump repeatedly saying we have the world's most superior weapons? America's superpower status is based on this very foundation, claiming it has superior weapons. No one can defeat them, and even Chinese and Russian weapons can't stand up to them. So I'm sharing this report with you. This is huge. I mean, it's a turning point. And these kinds of things aren't part of public debate or media debate. They happen at the state level. They happen at a higher level, and they're discussed and assessed there. Look, there's no forum in the world that announces America is no longer a superpower and China has become one. It's being assessed at that level. And then, for example, China gives fighters to Iran. So if Chinese fighter jets shoot down an F-35, everything will be proven. So look at this report. It's directly related to the Middle East because Israel is nothing. Israel is a Western proxy, an American proxy. And why is all this going on? Because America has a monopoly. It has superpower status. And why? It's because of that technology and how it's now falling behind in that technology while China is leading it. The U.S. admits the F-35 program has proven to be a failure after decades and trillions spent. This was a project worth over $1 trillion. It was declared the world's most expensive weapon, and the most expensive weapon has failed. This was a $2 trillion project, and for decades, it was hyped as the best. It did this, it did that. Trillions of dollars were spent, and that particular technology couldn't deliver. The Pentagon has admitted it. The government has finally admitted it. This is an American media report, and since it was released from the Pentagon, the American media is writing about it. The F-35 will never be able to deliver the combat capabilities it was designed for. I mean, I told you it hasn't even been tested yet. The F-35 hasn't even been used in the true sense yet. Israel is using the F-35, but there's no competition at all. In fact, Iran is claiming that its missiles not fighter jets, not in a dogfight, but its missiles have shot down the F-35. So the F-35 hasn't even been challenged yet. Like if it clashes with Russia, then we'd know whether it's the best, whether it's superior or not. The F-35 hasn't clashed with China yet. In fact, Ansarullah is saying they're going to shoot it down. They came very close to shooting it down, and Iran says they shot it down. So they've announced that it can't deliver the capabilities it was designed to deliver instead. It's a failed project. They were calling it the world's best fighter jet, meaning supreme technology developed by the United States. They don't have better technology than this, and this is the state of that supreme technology. This is the first time such a situation is happening in America. So this was the Pentagon's most ambitious weapon development program. They were investing the most in it and were dependent on it. The Pentagon defended the F-35 for years. I told you, questions had already started coming up. It defended that the F-35 is the best weapon we have for future aerial warfare, whose cost has exceeded $1 trillion. The program is proving to be the most expensive weapons project in history, meaning this most expensive weapon project in history turned out to be one that spent over $1 trillion and failed to deliver the desired performance. For 2 decades, American officials promised this would be a revolutionary fighter jet that would ensure America's air superiority would remain unchallenged for generations to come. This means we've developed such an advanced fighter jet that no one can match it for many years and generations to come. For example, They were saying, we're building the Golden Dome. It'll be completed in 5 to 7 years. And for the next 2 or 3 decades, no one can even come close to building it. So for the next 2 or 3 decades, this Golden Dome, whose cost was estimated at $175 billion allocated by the White House, $831 billion by Congress, and $3.6 trillion by private enterprises, meant it was a project that would establish America's air superiority globally, and no one could challenge it for generations to come. No one in the world could match it. Instead, it's been revealed that it has performance shortfalls and is extremely expensive. Operating it is very expensive. The Pentagon recently announced they were modernizing it. They called it modernization because they wanted to ensure funding from various countries continues and avoid congressional scrutiny. And Congress should start investigating if there are so many shortfalls in this. Then who made all that money disappear? Whose project was this? Which means the entire Congress would get involved, and funding coming from outside from Europe and other allies would stop, because this thing isn't being delivered. So they said, yes, we're making some changes to it. They're not changes, they're actually not able to deliver that capability. Fallout for US allies and global weapon sales. I told you this isn't a media debate or part of that. This is a really big deal. It's a major shock, if you want to call it that. Now America's global weapon sales are going to be affected. And this is a huge shock to American allies who were thinking America has everything. No one in the world can match this. The shortcomings of the F-35 go beyond wasted money. 19 countries have purchased it. UK, Norway, Italy, and many more who were partners in this program. That is, those who had already invested. There's one type that buys it when it's made. There were some who had invested in this program. These nations invested and expected the world's most advanced fighter jet would come to them. They now face rising costs and reduced performance. Now the buyers themselves are trapped. The performance isn't there and costs are increasing. And these allies have committed billions, and that's based on Washington's assurance. Why? Because America gave assurance they provide the best technology. The world's most advanced technology wouldn't be matched on the entire planet. All that has been exposed, and because of this, all future defense spending, cooperation, and arms sales are going to be hampered. That means the trust that they'll make this great thing has been broken. They have the best technology. It's superior. That whole thing has become a challenge. And cooperation, defense spending, cooperation, and arms sales, it's like this phone is the best phone in the world. So if this gets exposed, then you keep buying it blindly. You buy it with your eyes closed because it's the best. So if this gets challenged, will you buy it? Then we'll go toward alternatives. So people there bought it blindly believing this is what they have. It can't be better than this in the world. So if the US military can't deliver the promised technology, now it's been proven that America can't deliver the promised technology. This is happening for the first time in history. That's why we're presenting it to you in detail. So skepticism about American weapons and future programs will increase now. Doubts will increase, and when America says we're making the best now, this Golden Dome, right? We're making it the best. Invest in it. There's nothing better than this, otherwise skepticism and doubts are going to increase, reducing trust in the country's defense industry and the trust in American weapons. A symbol of bloated defense spending and mismanagement. Bloated defense spending money was wasted, and America said we'd make an aircraft that would cater to the militaries of multiple branches of allies. That means it would be a multi-purpose aircraft integrated into every system, which would be best for every type of military. And they said it would be great for America's allies. At least 15 militaries worldwide would integrate it into their systems. So it was called the triumph of innovation. That means innovation is victorious. These fighter jets have turned into $2 trillion of waste. $2 trillion proved to be waste, which they were calling the victory of technology. The F-35 may not stand as the future of warfare. Look, it had to deal with this eventually. Its intention wasn't to bomb civilians in the Middle East, you understand this. It wasn't because it would bomb the Middle East or bomb Gaza. This had to happen eventually when there's a clash with some major world power, of Europeans, of Americans. So Ansarullah is saying they're close to bringing it down. So tell me, how will it fare against the Russians and the Chinese? So it was supposed to be the symbol of future warfare. It's all been exposed as a monument to the limits of ambition and the danger of unchecked defense spending. In fact, now it's being discussed everywhere whether defense spending is unchecked. In America itself, These questions have started being raised. We spent this money in Congress. Obviously, now this will move forward. We spent trillions of dollars and it wasn't even checked. There was no scrutiny as to why we kept investing so much money in it. Look, overall America has been harmed. American credibility and American supremacy have been damaged. So this means if Chinese jets come to the Middle East, tell me, after Hamas stripped away Israel's ground army credibility, what is Israel standing on? It hasn't stood on what the whole world wants it to stand on, just standing on the edge, standing on its air superiority. Hamas and ground forces removed that fawade. What about air defense? The situation Ansarullah is creating is right in front of you. Now the fighter jets are what's left. If China provided fighter jets, if Russia provided fighter jets, tell me what would Israel have left? So this is the result of this colonial entity. It continues committing violence, keeps doing it, and then one day it suddenly collapses because it doesn't go on the path where whatever is necessary for survival. Even a normal state adopts behavior where it's fighting with everyone. It doesn't want diplomacy with anyone. It doesn't want to resolve matters with anyone, just wants violence. Even a normal state can't be maintained that way. So how will this colony, which no one has any real claim to, survive? So it hasn't taken that path. It's just standing on this. We have these fighter jets. We have this and that. The failure of ground troops, tanks, and their technology was exposed in Gaza and in Lebanon, and exposed by Ansarullah's drones and missiles, and exposed by Iranian missiles. Now the fighter jets are what's left, and Iran says we've shot them down. Well, we'll find out. But if fighter jets come, tell me what will become of Israel. So this is a very detailed report. We've just presented the summary to you, just to explain the whole concept. So American superpower status is being challenged. The innovation they were doing was their specialty. Is there any doubt about it? It was special about America that it would create the best innovative technology. China is making it now. So Yemen has sent 3 drones within 20 minutes. One drone came, then another from behind, then a third from behind. Within 20 minutes, they launched 3 drones. So this is a new capability, and in reference to October 7th, they fired these drones. Hamas has put forward demands that there should be a permanent and comprehensive ceasefire. Israeli army will withdraw. Palestinians will not be displaced. Gaza will be reconstructed, and the Palestinian Authority will control Gaza. These are our demands. We're not ready to accept anything more or less than this, okay? This is what happened. And Hamas said that any Tony Blair, any person with this name, is not acceptable to us here. And Egypt has said that these negotiations are taking place in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. Sharm el-Sheikh talks about full Israeli withdrawal. So Egypt is also confirming that the real issue is Israel should withdraw completely. And Israel's full withdrawal would mean this would be an important step toward Israel's collapse, because the defeat will be so humiliating that Israel will be buried in defeat. Now let me present an analysis to you. He's a prominent journalist from Israel. He speaks very well and writes in Haaretz. So they've said they support the Palestinian state and strongly oppose whatever's happening in Gaza. He said that without American pressure, nothing will move. With hopes for wider political success low, it'll be done in one session. There could be a short pause, but after that, what about 5, 10 days, 15 days, 20 days? What after that? According to him, if America doesn't get serious and doesn't take strong action against Israel, then the war will start again. And he said that with the current talks, it can move toward a ceasefire. But for a broader resolution to come, something should come into existence. The matter should be settled, everything should be fine. This isn't possible. America won't take action against Israel if it doesn't exert pressure the right way. He said the proposal could stop the fighting. But if you ask me about some kind of breakthrough that's bigger, I think we're as far as we've been before this agreement. So he said if you ask whether a ceasefire will happen, then it can happen. But if it's asked whether there'll be a solution to the problem, then we're standing as far away as we were before this agreement. That means if there was no hope before, there's still no hope. Ending the occupation to end Israel's occupation and achieve Palestinian statehood, which is the only path to peace. This will require America's decisive intervention. If America doesn't make decisive intervention against Israel, then nothing's going to be resolved. After a few days, the war will start again. And if a ceasefire occurs, a ceasefire occurs, otherwise it continues as is. Even if a ceasefire occurs, it'll start again. You won't get any breakthrough unless the American president is decisive enough, which I have many doubts about. The American president, who is Trump, will take action against Israel in a decisive manner and speak on principle. And he says he has doubts that Trump won't take any such action. He won't go against Israel. He's not very enthusiastic about the Palestinian state. Without American pressure, nothing will move. And the New York Times is reporting that Trump has ended diplomatic efforts with Venezuela, which were obviously symbolic, similar to what was happening with Iran, paving the way for potential military escalation. The New York Times is reporting that war has been decided and Trump has instructed his special envoy to end all diplomatic communications with Venezuela. And look at this last headline from the New York Times: many military plans have been made. For escalation regarding Venezuela, many military plans have been made. The New York Times is giving this news. So folks, this is the current situation I've shared with you. Let me know your thoughts. God bless. Take care.